This presentation will focus on a debate concerning the death of Spider-Man's girlfriend, Gwen Stacy. Many comic book fans have long questioned how she actually died. Was it the shock of the fall that killed her, or was it Spider-Man's webbing? This can be approached from a physics point of view, and so we can determine how she actually died. Let it be known that the video clip is merely for visual reference to the situation and does not coincide with all the facts retained in this scientific study. Places and persons are various throughout the comic books and movie franchises, so we're using the most pertinent information. Now for the physics! Gwen Stacy fell from the George Washington Bridge onto the Hudson Bay River, where she was caught just 1 meter above the body of water. Her mass, according to the Earth 616 comics, is 130 pounds or 59 kilograms. She fell approximately 183 meters down at the speed of gravity. Note, we will ignore air resistance for this study as to simplify our findings, so we are able to conclude the following. Her initial velocity is 0, she accelerates due to gravity, her displacement is 183 meters, and we need to determine her velocity at the point where Spider-Man catches her with his web. To calculate V2, we can use the Big 5 equation. V2 squared is equal to V1 squared plus 2AD to get negative 59.9 meters per second as her velocity when Spider-Man catches her with his web. For this equation, we know that her velocity will be negative as she is falling down towards the ground, so negative direction.
At this point, we know that Gwen Stacy was falling at negative 59.9 meters per second, which is roughly 215 kilometers per hour, headed straight for the ground. As you saw in the movie, Spider-Man caught her with his web at the moment before impact. However, all that force has to go somewhere. Here, we will be solving for the tension force exerted on Gwen Stacy's body by the web. To solve for the force required to bring her to rest, we will use Newton's second law. Force is equal to mass times acceleration. In the movie, it takes about half a second for her to stop, and so we can calculate our acceleration. So the tension force required in order to stop her is 7,068.2 newtons.
7,068.2 newtons? Amateur boxers are able to produce such a force equal to 8,000 newtons that is able to easily snap an average adult's neck. Due to the principle of inertia, Gwen's body was stopped by a large force, the web, but her neck continued moving, and so due to this whiplash effect she died, equivalent to drivers not wearing seatbelts in cars. The motion of Gwen's quote-unquote trip is very simple. She falls down from a tall height of 184 meters. While in freefall, just 1 meter above the body of water, she is caught by Spidey's web, and is brought to rest in half a second with a powerful force, FTW, in this case, not for the win. Ironically, similar physics is involved in how airbags save people's lives. Due to the large surface area of airbags, they distribute the force on a driver, thus decreasing the pressure, force per unit area, exerted on them. Also, because they deform on impact, it slightly increases the stoppage time, reducing whiplash. This is relative to if the driver were to hit something rigid instead, like a steering wheel column. Now we can conclude what actually killed Gwen Stacy. It was definitely the enormous amount of force supplied by the web that caused her neck to break. It was unfortunately and most definitely not the fall, because skydiving, bungee jumping, and flying in general are all very real things. Thanks for watching!
Created using Powtoon.